Let's place our hands on our thighs, palms facing down. Tuck the thumbs inside your hand, Adi Mudra. Thumb inside is Adi Mudra. And this is also sometimes called first mudra. So you're just wrapping your fingers around your thumb. This helps open up the top of the lungs. It's also a deeply calming mudra. 'Tis the season of much movement. And this year, there's a bit extra layered on top. So in our yoga verses, the Yoga Sutras, the yoga verses of Patanjali, in verse 133, he gives us the 4 keys, is what Satchidananda calls these, for maintaining our own inner calmness. It is being friendly towards the happy. Have compassion towards those who suffer. Take joy in those who are accomplished. And then he uses the word disregard the wicked, which always makes me think of Harry Potter. But it is a sense of maintaining your own equanimity, that we are always confronted with people who are not having their best day that day. And can we maybe just be compassionate towards what their story is? We don't know. We don't know. So refrain from engaging, unless you have to. Sometimes we must engage, but sometimes we are allowed just to walk away. In Buddhism, these are called the 4 Brahma Viharas. And this is what the metta meditation is based on. So I'll invite you, as you settle in to your body, we apply these 4 notions. Being friendly, having compassion. Take joy in that which is working today. And then let go of the shame and the blame, the shoulds and the coulds and the oughts. Same for the mind space. The yoga practice is about friending who we are and our experience, knowing that our existence is dark and light. There are areas that we are not really friended yet, maybe, for whatever reason and whatever it may be. And we invite it just to hold it in the space of our practice. Letting the breath deepen. And then the Brahmari breath, or Brahmari by some accounts, the bumblebee breath. It is the heart and the throat chakra. It is simply humming on the out breath. It sounds like this. You're not concerned about the pitch. You're not concerned about duration. You simply let the sound last the duration of your out breath. Keep the teeth softly separated, but the lips closed. We'll start with 3. So take a deep breath in. So this breath of this pranayama practice has 3 distinct benefits. One is that it calms the monkey mind, that anxious, jumpy mind. It also stretches out the exhalation. So it helps us to settle into the parasympathetic nervous system. It is essentially Ujjayi breathing, but with sound. Ujjayi 2, which is the exhalation only. So very calming for anxiety. But because of the physical vibration that we add with the humming, it is also good for depression when there is low energy or lethargy. And then hummers are healthier than other people. It literally strengthens our immune system. So we're going to do it one more time. We'll do 6 this time. And after you do 6, so just count your own. Don't worry about following the rhythm of me, just what's right for you. Keeping just after you finish the 6 with your eyes closed, to simply feel inward, feel the effect of this practice. When you're ready. On the next out breath, releasing the mudra. And then inhale and open your eyes. Let's switch the cross of the legs if you're cross-legged. And let's take the arms out and up, interlace the fingers, and stretch up. Root down through the sits bones, and we'll bend to the right. And inhaling up and to the left. Let's go up to center and we'll twist. And the other side. And back to center. Let's take the legs up in front. Take the hands behind you, press down through the hands and sits bones as you lengthen up through the crown of the head. And let's take the soles of the feet together for Baddha Konasana. Bound angle pose. Holding on to your ankles or shins to facilitate the lifting. And then do little butterfly things, just little easy butterflies. But at the same time, hug your thigh bones into the socket. If you have a lot of mobility in your hip joints, this is more about activating the muscles. then increasing flexibility. Let's take the hands to the outer knees, bring the legs back together, and then this time we'll come all the way down onto the mat. Sitting in seated staff pose. I'm sitting flat on the mat, so you can sit with your feet long. And then merman pose. I did not name this pose. I'll face you forward again. I'll face forward so you can see what I'm doing. Swing your legs to the right side. Swing the legs to the right so that your right foot is behind. If it's available to come into Virasana Hero's pose, you'll draw the toes, the foot under so that the top of the foot is on the mat. If that's uncomfortable, let your foot be however you need it to be. And your left foot is just resting on your right knee. So you're basically sitting in Baddha Konasana and Virasana simultaneously. Take your right hand to your left knee. And then my left hand is out about a foot or so from my left hip. It's a very comfortable, easy pose. Inhale, we lengthen out through the crown of the head, and I'm listing a little bit. I'm not trying to sit straight up in this pose. And as you exhale, let's twist to the left. Let your right hip follow you into the twist. So I'm sitting more on the outside of my left hip, more on the outside than on the sits bones. Let's lengthen the spine and exhale. Come a little bit further on. One more breath, lengthen, lengthen. Deepen. And slowly, let's return. Swim the legs in the opposite direction. Sitting up, if it's available, the top of the left foot on the mat, and your right foot on your left knee. Left hand to the knee, and right arm up to the side. In my leaner, inhale, lengthening up. And as you lengthen up through the crown, give your left glute a little to allow your hip flexors to lengthen up. As we're going to need that in our twist, inhale, lengthen. And exhale, deepen the twist. One more time, inhale. And exhale back to center. Let's switch to the first side again. We started, this is position one, hand on the knee, your right hand on the knee, left arm out to the side. Now lift your hips up and then scooch your left hip towards your right knee and come down. So you're sitting even more on the outer hip now. You're even more on the outer hip. So I'm creating a straight line as if my spine went all the way down to my right knee. So I'm twisting around this axis. Now take your right hand, place it kind of is where the left hand is, and then walk the left hand further back. We inhale, we lengthen through the crown again. Exhale, and deepen the twist. Now I can do a push-pull with my hands. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, twist. One more breath. Lengthen through the crown of the head, and twist. And then slowly eke our way back. And we switch. Starting in position one again. Lift the hip and scooch it towards your left foot. And now take your left hand to where the right is, right moves further back. We lengthen through the crown of the head and exhale. Invite the twist to deepen, but using your muscle. So remember, if there's osteoporosis or osteopenia, You want your muscles to do the work. You don't want to be heavy-handed, no pun intended, as you are twisting. Lengthening and deepening. And slowly, let's come back to center. Take the legs out in front again. Dandasana, seated staff pose. And take the hands back a wee bit. Bend up the knees. Draw the shoulders down the back, elbows together. And inhale, lifting, reverse tabletop. Now remember, if you have a shoulder thingy, then keep the hips down, but lift the heart, lift the heart. And exhale, lowering down. And we're just gonna flip ourselves right over and travel into puppy pose. Tuck the toes under. Reach the arms out in front. And this inhale coming up into our high cobra. Straight elbows, lift the heart, hips are up. And exhale, going back, puppy. And again, moving with your breath, inhaling up, so a little bit of flexion and traction off the spine. Again, if you have been diagnosed with osteopenia, osteoporosis, do the straight back. Don't do spinal flexion, only spinal extension as we're doing in Cobra. But if you have not been diagnosed, you can round up, moving into extension. One more time. And then next time you come back to puppy pose. Next time you stretch back to puppy pose. Toes tucked under. Tractioning your spine long. But let your ears and upper arms be neighbors. Hands are shoulder width apart. Now walk the hands to the right so that your left hand is at the edge of the mat. Left hand is at the edge of the mat. The right is shoulder width distance off the mat. So it is both elbows are straight. Both elbows are straight. Flip your left hand. So you're either on the pinky side or the back of the hand. And take your right hand down. Elbows bent. Elbow is bending. So we can push again into a little bit of a twist. So inhaling, reaching into your left pinky finger. Exhale, press into your right palm, twisting to the right. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twisting. So you're twisting to the right. And your head can just rest on your left arm. Resting your head on your left arm. There's a little ledge just for it as we are twisting. And then slowly come back to center. Straighten your right arm out and then meander to the left. So pulling the right hip back, reach out through the right hand, turn onto the right pinky finger or the back of the hand. Take your left hand down. Elbow is bent at 90 degrees and hand is right under the elbow. Let your head just rest on your right arm. As you inhaling, lengthen out through the fingers and exhale, deepen the twist by pushing gently into your left hand. Again, be a good steward. Inhale, lengthen and exhale, twisting. One more breath. And we come back to center. Back into puppy pose. And we inhale out to modified plank. And let's draw back to downward facing dog. Let's take the dog for a little walk. Pressing it, the heels down alternately. And maybe sway about a little bit. What is the dog like today? And then let us lift the heels up high. Bend the knees a little bit. Bend the knees as you keep drawing the hips up and pushing back, pushing back, pushing back. Draw the heels towards the floor without rounding the back. So notice when the hamstrings begin to pull. And then looking up. And exhale, walk or step the feet up to the top of the mat. Feet hip width apart. Inhale, looking up. Take the hands to the hips. Press into the heels and rise all the way up. And here we are. Now take your blocks and just place them on each side of your mat. And that's to have for sun salutation. This is the week of winter solstice. A very sacred day in the Nordic countries, because it is so darn dark there. And I think it goes dark about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and it doesn't get light until maybe 10-ish. And then it just rains and it's gray all the time. So a lot of candles, a lot of wine gets people through the winter. But with that said, celebrating the return of the light, standing in mountain pose. Let's roll the shoulders up and down the back. Let's do that again. And then switch direction. As you roll the shoulders, when you're on the back, draw the shoulders back. And when you're on the front, draw the shoulders together so that we get the full movement of the shoulder blade. And then from neutral, let's take the arms out and up. Clasp your right wrist and then draw the right hand to the sky, palm facing up, ground the right heel. And side bend to the left, side bend to the left. Ground into the right heel. Let your left hand pull you a little bit longer. And inhaling up, switch, clasp. So now the right hand clasps the left. Pulling straight up, ground the left heel. And then side bend to the right. And as you're side bending, making sure you go straight to the side. You're not rotating the spine, but it's pure flexion. So you're pulling on the left hand with the right hand and you're side bending to the right, side bending to the right. And inhale all the way up and exhale. Back into mountain pose. So we just got a little taller. Now inhale, let's take the arms out and up. Exhale, forward fold. We're moving into our sun salutations. Inhaling, half forward fold. And just let your knees bend so the spine can stay straight. Spine can stay straight. Exhale, let's take the right knee back and take the knee down. Now, if you would like to put a blanket under your knee because it is fussing at you here, do so, do so. Don't be in pain, don't be uncomfortable in your practice. As you inhale, let's lift the heart, lift the heart. In the low lunge, the front knee can travel past the ankle because it's not weight bearing, so it's all right. But it still has to traction over the second toe. As you exhale, let's take the blocks to the side, draw back through puppy pose, and inhale out to modified plank. Modified plank. Press the heels back, full plank. And anytime you can take the knees down if that's a better option. Remember 90%. Let's all take the knees back down. And now lowering chin and chest, pulling the elbows back. Chin and chest comes down, and then inhale, slither the heart forward, and we are ready for cobra pose. Inhale, lifting the heart, lift the head, follow up. Tuck the toes, and we're back in downward facing dog. Looking up on the inhalation, and as you exhale, let's step the right foot up, just help it along. Take the left knee down, and again, if you like the blocks, I kind of do, because I get a little bit more lift and length on my spine. Using the block, lift the heart. And then exhale, back toes are tucked under. A little hop with the knee will propel you forward into the forward fold. Bend the knees and sweep the arms out and up. And palms together at heart center. Inhale, and we go up again. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling again, half forward fold, and left leg leads us back. Now in the high lunge, your four corners of the front foot well anchored, four corners. So we're going back to the beginning of every month. Reaching back through the back heel, but you still have the big toe mount and the little toe mount on the back foot, tucked under. Hug the inner thighs together. So you can feel how the muscles in the pelvis are consolidating, producing a little bit more stability. Now let's take a little bit of time to hang out with the hamstring. Straighten the front knee, roll onto the back of the heel, and come forward again. Let's go back and forth. Inhaling, you into high lunge. Now, because the front foot is weight bearing, make sure your knee does not travel past the ankle. Front knee, not past the ankle. Now, take the back knee down again. And hook your left elbow over the right knee. Left elbow over the right knee. And you can take the hand to the outer knee too if that's more comfortable. So we're beginning to twist. Can we put the palms together? If that is uncomfortable, just take your left hand to the outer knee and your right hand to the hip. That is also an option. From here, press the back heel back. Press. We're now back in the high lunge. Press the heel back. The thighs together. Hug the inner thighs together. Don't fall. One more breath. And let the back knee come down. Let go of the hands. Let's take the blocks out to the side and draw back again through puppy pose. Inhaling up 2, modify plank, and then press the heels back. And we're back in full plank. This is good stuff. Let the knees come down, chin and chest. And inhale, slither the heart forward. Bow the chin as you release the tops of the feet. Inhaling, lifting heart and head. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Inhale, let's look up as we breathe in and exhale. Left hand, left foot, steps up, but the left hand was helping it out. I take my blocks back. High lunge. Need to spend a little time with my left hamstring too. So as you exhale, straightening the front knee, the left knee, and then bend it again. Go back and forth. I'm lifting the front of the foot. Can you see me? So I'm rolling onto the back of the heel. It's a little gentler on the hamstring. And then I think we're ready to stay. Take the knee down. And again, hooking the elbow across your knee, right elbow across the knee, pulls it into the twist. maybe palms together, or take the hand to the outer knee and your left hand to the hip. Perfectly fine. Now here's a third option too. Take the hand to the block on the floor. That may feel more stable yet. Choose the variety that you like today and press your right leg back. Press the right leg back. Now hug your hips together. Hug the hips together. And breathe. Breathing, twisting, breathing and twisting. One more breath. Take the knee down. And we're back. Take your hands to the blocks, back toes are tucked under. A little hop, boom. We are at the top of the mat. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out and up. And let's bring the palms together at heart center. One down. Second go around, we're gonna add the open hip poses, warrior two and side angle. Exhale, bow to your heart. And hands and gaze to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. And inhale, half forward fold. Step the right leg back. It's a long stance. And then spin the heel down. Bend the front knee and just check that you're lining up heel to heel. Take the hands to your left knee. A little bit of a slanter. Ground your outer right heel firmly. And then I'll lead with the right arm, sweep it forward like a big sun rising. And we're in warrior two. Spin the back heel down. Left foot is forward. And the knee tracks over the second toe. Just check. And again, hug the hips together for pelvic stability. And let's draw the right arm under the left for eagle arms. Right arm under the left for eagle arms. Draw the shoulders down. And then inhale, straighten your left knee and then bend it again. Straighten and bend. Keep your spine like a plumb line, straight up and down. Now staying in warrior two with the eagle arms. And we'll take the arms out. Firm the shoulder blades up on the back. Check the front knee, sneaky booger. It likes to begin to draw inward. You go, nene, nene. Reach out over your left leg. Take your forearm to the inner thigh or inner knee and take the right arm overhead. Right arm overhead. Reach it forward, palm facing down. Now with your left forearm on your left inner knee or thigh, you can create a bind that allows you to twist a little bit more open in the pose so that the knee stays exactly over the ankle. But your heart begins to spin to the side and to the sky. And one more breath. And then we'll take the hands down. Come back through the high lunge. Let's step back through downward facing dog. Before we continue on into upward facing dog, just notice, does it seem like you got a little bit more length and space around your right ribs than your left? Now let's inhale, draw forward to plank. Take the knees down and then flip the feet so you're on the top of the feet. And if it's available, lift the knees, upward facing dog, upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Looking up on the inhalation, step the right foot up. Between the hands, spin the back heel down. So the toes are pointing more out to the sides. It's a big external rotation. Walk the hands up to your right knee. Ground the four corners of your back leg. Remember that. I know it's weeks ago. Big toe mount back to the outer inner heel. Swoop it to the outer heel and then forward to the pinky toe. Left hand, rising sun, sweep it up and back. Warrior two again. Let's take the right arm under the left for our Arudasana, eagle. And then straighten and bend the knee. Go back and forth. And just peek down. Does it track over the second toe? Remember, knees are sneaky. If you feel any pinginess in your knee, adjust the stance. And stay there this time. Warrior two stance. Let's take the arms out. And side angle. Reach. Form inner knee. And left arm overhead. Keep the four corners of the feet well grounded. And then reach. Now look, see it, y'all? Reach the arm overhead so your leg arm palm is facing up, keeping the shoulder open so that you're broadening through the collarbone as you press with the back of the forearm gently onto the knee, to facilitate a little bit more rotation in the spine. One more breath. And windmill the arms down to the blocks, looking fantastic. And you can take your hands to the blocks again. A little bend and push, and you found your way up to the top of the mat. Bend the knees, lengthen the spine, press up. And palms together at heart center. So a little intermission here for tree pose, external rotation. So let's start with the left foot firmly grounded and take the right in just to a tree stand. Kickstand, tree stand. My mind is obviously on Christmas. Now pay attention to your left hip, that it is not the Marilyn Monroe, but that your left side of your body is still very much in mountain pose. And then we can begin to explore the tree. Maybe the heel below the knee. So you can feel your outer left hip working hard. Maybe foot above the knee. Toes above the knee. Keep the hip moving in. So now creating a bind where you're pressing the standing leg into the foot into the standing leg. So that's the reason that we don't want the foot right on the knee joint, because we want to create this pressure, even pressure from leg to foot, foot to leg, whether that is above the knee or below the knee. It's a windy day in my studio. Now, maybe take the arms up, reaching. Noticing that tuggle happening in the foot to negotiate balance. Let's take the arms down and relax the foot down. Stand and feel. Balance poses are important. Remember, Lauren Fishman says we need posture, good posture, and ability to balance. for maintaining health and vitality as we become wiser. And then I do love Ingrid Bergman apparently said we also need a good sense of humor and a bad memory or poor memory. So I'm like, well, maybe there's something to be said about that. So now, maybe the heel below the knee. So you can always just go right back to the kickstand if that feels safer for your body. Keep hugging your hip towards center line. And notice that this side, maybe higher, probably does feel different than the other side. Hand position, if it's available, grow your tree tall. Tall and well rooted. And the rooting comes from the bind in the legs, the leg pressing into the foot, foot pressing into the leg. Ho, ho, ho. One more breath. We'll take the arms down and release out of the pose. Back into mountain pose. Which got us ready now for half moon pose. So as we stand again at the top of the mat. So half moon and triangle pose are exactly the same pose. So whether you would like to do one or the other, we start in the same way. Let's sweep the arms out and up. Big sun. Exhale, forward fold. Inhaling, half forward fold. And exhale, now the left leg will lead back. Spin the heel down again. And bend the front knee. Bend the front knee. Again, let's walk the hands to the knee. And left arm sweeps up and back. And we're back in warrior two. Straightening the front knee. Reach out over the leg. Take the hand to a block or shin. Reaching the top arm to the sky. We know triangle, and again, half moon are exactly the same pose. To travel into a half moon, take the top hand to the hip. Bend your right knee. Find your block. Now looking down so you know where you're going. And as I reach the block forward, I'm going to hop the back foot forward. Block goes forward, so it's about a foot in front to the outside of the foot. And I transfer the weight onto my front hand and front foot. And I lift the back leg up, lifting the leg up. And then maybe take the arm to the sky. Keep the four corners of your right foot well anchored. Let me have a look-see. Right foot well anchored. And then the lifted leg, toe points out to the side. You are in triangle pose still. And slowly releasing down. Stuart, you found something. And so you're back in triangle pose. And inhaling all the way up. And then let's toe heel in. We'll just take a little pit stop here with half moon. Because it can be a daunting pose, I know. But the easiest way to really negotiate this is just watch for a second. So when we do the other side, you may have a better idea where we're going. Coming into the pose, triangle and half moon in essence are the same pose. So when I get ready to travel, I put my seatbelt on, I look at my map so I know where I'm going, bend the front knee, hop the foot forward, move the block. So I'm just transferring the weight. And then once I push forward, now I take the weight into the hand and the front leg. As I lift the back leg up, I keep that leg super strong. I think last week, super strong and active. And then maybe take the top hand to the sky. This is a great pose to do up against a wall. So you're facing away from the wall. To come out, travel back through, triangle. And we're back home again. So now let's negotiate that. We came back, we had the left foot back. Let's step back to downward facing dog and reorient ourselves from that point. From downward facing dog, inhale into upward facing dog. And exhale to downward facing dog. Looking up on the inhalation, you'll step your left foot up between the hands. And then spin the back heel down. Walk the hands up to the bent left knee. It just helps us negotiate coming up without putting a lot of strain on the back. Your right arm rises the sun up, boom, back in warrior two. Powerful pose, straightening the front knee. And then still with hips consolidated, reach out over your left leg, take the hand to the shin. The shin can be a little bit better because with a block, we're trying to accommodate our body to the size of the block. If you use the shin, it's just wherever your hand lands. Now take your top hand to the hip, bend your left knee. Now, there's the block. Hand is firm on the block. I'm going to hop the back leg forward, then I'm going to move the block forward. So there's a little dance. Hop, move. Now I can put the full weight on the block and the front foot. Full weight is on block and front foot. You're just repeating tree pose in so many ways. Lift the leg is strong, strong, strong. One more breath. And then slowly, let's land it back in triangle pose. And we'll take the hands down. Step the back foot up to the front, forward fold. Inhale, bend the knees, lengthen the spine, take the arms all the way up. And say, that was a 10. Take the arms down, Tadasana. Now let's move the blocks to the long side of the mat. Let's step the feet wide apart. Prasarda, Padottanasana. I just like saying Padot because it sounds very long. It is a wide stance. Kick the heels out a little bit, bend the knees. I'll turn sideways so you can actually see a better picture of what's going on. So the knees are bent, sitting down into the hips, sitting well down into the hips. Position one, lift the heart, draw the elbows together. Lift the heart, draw the elbows together. Now maintain the back bend as you begin to pivot forward. Taking the hands to your blocks or the mat, but keep the spine long. Keep the spine long. Now negotiate straightening the knees. And again, if the spine begins to round upward as you straighten the legs, bend the knees again or use your blocks. Come up higher. Come up higher. Hug your thigh bones into the socket. Let's move the left hand right under the face. That can be on a block or the mat. And take the right hand to your hip, to the right hip. Inhale, lengthen through the crown of the head. And as you exhale, push your left hand into the block to support you twisting to the right. To the right. So push the hand down, push the hand down. We're twisting. We are indeed twisting. Maybe take the arm up. Lengthening up. And exhale, let's take the hand down. Place it, the right hand where the left hand was. Take the left hand to the left hip. Reach up through the crown of the head and we twist again, this time to the left. Keeping your pelvis where it is. So you're twisting around the thoracic spine. So that is not the low back, but the mid back. And again, maybe take your left hand to the sky. Breathe. Breathe, 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 breathe. And let's take the hand down. Both hands to blocks or mat. Inhale, looking up, looking up. Again, create as much back bend as is available, and that can mean that you are bending the knees. It's perfectly fine. With the knees bent, keeps hugging the thigh bones in to the socket. Now pivot forward, let the head come to the mat, towards the mat, bending the elbows. Bend the elbows. Forward folds are calming to the nervous system. Back bends, energizing. So we want both elements in the practice. We don't always need the same thing. Now inhale, walk the hands forward. Again, we're back in position 2, flat back. And let's toe heel a couple of times in. Take the hands to the hips, press all the way up. And then all the way together, Tadasana. Mountain pose. Grounding through the feet as you lengthen up through the sternum and the crown of the head. Standing tall and grounded. And now I think it is time for us to come onto our back. So for today's Shavasana, we're going to set up the blocks and take one blanket over the blocks. It's just a little softer, and I am a big fan of comfort. Now you're going to have your strap nearby, and you're going to make a loop that I'm going to invite you to use around your legs in Shavasana. But we're going to have a little pit stop before we get there. So you just want to create the loop. And then you have maybe one more blanket for the head, which you will place with the wider fold, but you're going to tuck the corners in for your neck. So just the corners are tucked in. And you're going to create a little nest for your head to rest in. So can you see what I'm doing? So I have my head blanket and I'm simply just folding the corners down, creating a little bowl in the middle. So with all of that prepared, now as you come down, let's first make sure that we have everything placed exactly where we want it. But we're not quite there yet. I'm just folding everything up. There we go. So once I said, okay, that's good. My legs are good. Then let's take the knees in. Hug the knees in. And then take the legs to the sky. Take the arms to the sky too. Legs and arms to the sky. And then just shake everything out. Shake, 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 shake. We asked a lot of our legs today. And then we'll hug the knees back in. If you have a loop strap, you're going to take that now and slide it around your mid-thigh. And you'll cinch the strap so that your legs are held hip-width apart. And then you settle into Shavasana. With the loop around the legs, we sometimes get a little bit more release in the hip socket. Letting your arms rest out to the sides. The legs just resting over the block blanket formation. If this is uncomfortable, just move it out of the way. Let your body relax. You've done the work. Letting your eyes soften deep down into the sockets. Let the skin across your face, the cheekbones, the bridge of the nose, soften and widen. Relax the jaw, the mouth, the teeth, the tongue. Relax the shoulders, the arms. Relax the heart and the lungs. And then take a deep breath into your belly. Let the belly relax. Release the pelvis, the hips, inner groins. Relax the legs, your ankles, feet, and toes. Everything is relaxed. Breathing in, ease. Breathing out, release. Breathing in, ease. Breathing out, release. Now gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggling fingers and toes. You'll bend out the knees. You'll remove the strap, if you have it, around your legs. And hug the knees in and rock from side to side. Eventually roll all the way over onto your right or left side. With mindfulness, place your top arm's hand on the floor, pressing into the floor with your top hand and bottom arm to come up into a seated position. Let's bring our palms together. Close with the mantra for peace. Om Shanti, 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 Om. Let's take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, 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 Om. Exhale and bow your head towards your heart. May there be peace in your heart. May there be peace in your life. And may there be peace in our world that we share. Inhale, let's draw the gaze up. Namaste.